Hello everyone, this is Metroid Nerd number 9001, and we are back playing Mega Man and Bass. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the shop. I did a bit of grinding for bolts off screen just because I was bored, but we're just going to get the energy equalizer, the exit module, and the spike guard, because spike guards are always useful. I have no idea what he's saying. I'm just going to assume it's similar to what he says in the Game Boy Advance version, but it's in Japanese, so I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, we're gonna go fight Pirate Man because he's weak to the Wave Burner. Even though the Wave Burner doesn't work the same underwater and you fight Pirate Man underwater. The Wave Burner is a really cool weapon, I think. It's very effective in some situations. Mostly it can actually kill these things, which is nice, and I didn't mean to use the ice wall. That was unintentional. Either way, mostly just try to avoid these guys. The Wave Burner doesn't work the same underwater, so it can't kill those things when they're underwater, which means that those things are completely invincible when they are underwater. I don't think that the Wave Burner does damage. Does it do damage to other enemies? No, it just pushes them. It damages Pirate Man even when it's used underwater, but otherwise I guess it just pushes things around, which it's still pretty cool. I like that it has different uses in different situations. It's nice when they think of different ways that weapons can be used. There's if you have Rush Surge, then you can push that away and there's a CD under there. I think that's kind of a clever positioning to put this clever place to put a CD. And suddenly he's falling. I don't know exactly why. I don't get all of the AIs of the enemies. There's another CD. I'm probably not going to be going for them on screen. I'll go for them off screen just because I like the process of hunting them, because it's kind of fun. But there's not really much of a point for me to show them on screen, because once again I can... Oh, I forgot to thank RoahmMythril's video in the first video. I'll probably do it this time if I remember. And that wasn't a good idea. Let's show up how useful the ice wall is. Just kill that thing with one ice wall. I think that was a checkpoint we just passed. No, that's not real. Yeah, they're fake treasure chests. They're kind of annoying to fight, mostly because they latch onto you and you have to kind of button mash to get them off like any other enemy that latches onto you usually will involve button mashing. Kind of like Fuzzies in Paper Mario, or actually like in any game really. It's like you get to spam moving left and right, and then that'll eventually get them off of you. So they also don't drop the pickup until after they've done the exploding animation. But either way, the ice wall is really good for taking care of these things. Theoretically, you're supposed to use the bubbles to kind of get around, but water physics is generous enough that you can just kind of platform your way through here, sometimes move stuff around. I believe this treasure chest is real. It has, yes, large energy. That's always nice to find. We're already pretty close to the end of the stage. It's just that long of a stage. Get another one of these things. Whenever I'm playing as Bass, I can just dash and then double jump and completely ignore this ladder. But as Mega Man, you use the ladder. Or even as Bass, you can just use the ladder. One thing I like in this game is that you can you can choose your weapon with the trigger buttons even while the boss is loading up their animation, which I think is really cool. Pirate Man, when he goes into his bubble phase, wait until he starts moving before you hit him with the Wave Burner, because the way he keeps himself from going into Cloudman Syndrome is the fact that you can't stun him with the Wave Burner unless he's in the bubble form. But anyway, we're just gonna kill him. The Wave Burner also does more damage to him if you hit him while you are above water, because it's the actual fire from the Wave Burner. But here we get another pretty cool weapon, the Remote Mine, which is pretty powerful, and it will be definitely useful when going up against Groundman, which is who we're going up against next. Unless you can steer it around, which makes it significantly better. It's kind of like the Crash Bomb from Mega Man 2, but you can move it around and it's just better in almost every way than the Crash Bomber. You know, I should have backed up my save file. Hopefully this recording works. I am going to... No, I don't think this one is it. I'm going to go ahead and get all the bolts I need from these guys. This is the lock system for getting into King's Castle. Basically, it's kind of meant to teach you how to use all the weapons properly. This one's always the most annoying one to get. I better not let... There we go. You can kind of cheese your way through this one by shooting it through that. Because the remote mine is really annoying to control in tight situations like that. But that was a gigantic bolt I just got, because each one of those is worth 100 bolts, which is very useful for the shop. I like this. It makes getting some of the more expensive things actually feasible. Oh, that's the spread roll. I believe this one is the wave burner. Yes. And this teaches you that the wave burner can destroy those blocks, which is useful. Those appear in King's Castle and also in a few secret areas for getting stuff like CDs. And then this is also a quick and easy way to save your game, because leaving through this teleporter counts as beating a stage, which is... If I can jump... Come on. This is embarrassing. Anyway, that counts as beating a stage. So you can save. And now, as you can see, we have 585 bolts, which, because we've beaten 3 Robot Masters, we can get more stuff in the shop. Get this. Oops. I can't read Japanese. I'm gonna get the... Basically, what this does is it makes it so that whenever you pick up pickups, they give you even more stuff, but you have to equip it. And then this makes it so that when you're low on health, you deal a lot more damage, which is always nice. And then this is... I'm gonna get Rush Surge, because that's also nice to have. You can tell what things are by the symbols, and that's basically all you need if you've played this game before. I didn't think that the Japanese would be that annoying, but I guess I'm gonna have to deal with it, since I'm playing this on an emulator. Groundman's stage is kind of fun, and I also like the aesthetic. It's kind of like the non-fire section of Swordman stage, Mega Man 8. But the Swordman was the fire stage of that game, and Burner Man is the fire stage of this game, even though neither of them focus really that much on fire aesthetically. They just have fire in them. I'm going to equip this, because with these you can only equip one of them at a time. So most of the time I'll have it so that pickups will give more energy, and then whenever I go into a boss I'll have the critical attack on, just so if I'm in a pinch I can deal extra damage and hopefully kill the boss. Now that enemy takes a lot of hits to kill, and one remote mine can take care of it. It does a lot of damage. It's kind of like the ice wall, but it's easier to control. But it also doesn't have the utility that the ice wall does. As you can see, I'm like shooting a whole ton, bullet spamming into this thing, and it's not dying. But one remote mine is enough to be able to take care of it. I'm just gonna wait for this one because I'm almost out of remote mine. I'm saving it for this one. It's kind of hard to make that jump if you're not base. There's certain alcoves that... One of the nice things that the design of this game is that there's certain alcoves that Mega Man can get into and certain alcoves that only base can get into. So it kind of makes it so that depending on which character you're playing as, you're going to get a slightly different experience each time. I'm not used to being able to see the ceiling of this place whenever fighting this mini-boss, because screen punch once again. This guy, the remote mine's pretty good against him, but it's better to use it when he's in a more stationary position. There's a few situations that are like that. Overall, just kind of an annoying mini-boss just because he has a lot of health. And you don't know exactly where he's gonna spawn. Oops. I'm gonna wait. And I killed him. Nice. I guess I usually underestimate how much damage the remote mine does to that thing, even when it's not in the most optimal place to attack it from. This room can be kind of annoying because of all the shield attackers, especially since sometimes they can off-screen you. Again, that's the Game Boy Advance version, but I'm used to that, so it's going to be a bit less annoying than I'm used to. Got some Sniper Joes, which isn't that bad. See, people like grade on this game for like it's really obtrusive or really annoying level design, but it's not that bad. Like, I haven't died in this stage. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything like offensively bad in this stage. It's like, oh, this stage is so hard, it's terrible, and blah blah. It's just like the normal difficulty that you'd expect of something to be in a Mega Man game. It's like it has a lot of the simpler concepts of a Mega Man game. There's another big treasure chest, but that was an extra life that was in there. And in fact, there's some things in this game that make it easier than other Mega Man games, like the fact that power-ups respawn after you die, which is a thing that was in Mega Man 1, but but I guess they quote-unquote fixed it in basically every Mega Man game since then. So the pickups no longer respawn when you die in other games, but they do in this game, which is really nice. Because I played through Mega Man 10 today. First time I ever beat the game as Mega Man, and once again I found it annoying that like if I was going through a stage and I pick up some because I took some damage, there was some energy pickups out right before the mini boss. Now I could use those the first time and then have a slight advantage going into the boss or going into the mini boss, but you don't have that any subsequent times because all the pickups disappear. That doesn't happen in this game. As long as you, whenever you're going into a mini boss, all the pickups respawn. Or like if you die in a really hard spot, oh come on. There we go. This is the spot of the most annoying CD in the entire game, but I'm not going to worry about that. Right now it's just time for Ground Man. Once you get used to Ground Man's pattern, he's really not that bad, and I'm able to consistently beat him without using his weakness all that much. You just have to get used to how he spawns himself whenever he goes into the floor of the ceiling. You just gotta learn him like any other robot master. The spread drill can be annoying, but again, it doesn't deal that much damage. And especially just looking in the ground, you can kind of tell where he's gonna pop up, and then you just shoot him whenever he pops up there. If you do use the remote mine, then you can you hit him with it, or if it's attached to him, it'll explode before he has a chance to go into the ground. But, I don't think you need to do that. Also, a thing I like in this game that was in Mega Man 1 and 2, but kind of got phased out after that, is that in Mega Man 3 onward, as soon as you hit a boss with its last hit in which it'll die, it'll just immediately explode. But I like that the bosses in this game have animations right before their deaths, where it's like, no, I've died, and then they explode. They didn't really have that in Mega Man 1 and 2, but there was always a delay between when you dealt the final blow on the boss and when they actually exploded. Which I like in this game. Anyway, next up is Tanker Man. Boss basically reused from Mega Man 8, but he's still pretty different. Although the beginning of this stage is probably the most controversial not the most controversial stage in the game. that would be King Stage 2. But this, as you can see, it's side-scrolling, and a lot of people don't like side-scrolling. But once again, the fact that there's an extra life about halfway through this section, coming up on it right about now, and the fact that this respawns every time you die makes it bearable. Though this spike seeding can be kind of annoying to deal with if you're not used to it, and especially on the Game Boy Advance version, it is almost impossible to see those spikes. But here, it's just, they can be annoying to deal with sometimes. The green balloons you don't have to worry about popping when you step on them, they just go a little bit slower. They do still pop if you shoot on them though. This is also multiple double axis scrolling, I guess you could say, where the entire room scrolls in both the X and Y axis, which we couldn't really do in the 8-bit games, but I like it in this room. It makes it easy, it makes it nice that you can have multiple branching paths. Although, these guys are really annoying. I'm just gonna take this guy out. No. There we go. See, I'm getting use out of all the different weapons. They all have their own uses and they can all be used in different ways against enemies. Spudrill will fall once if you hit an enemy with it. It doesn't deal nearly as much damage as some of the other weapons, but it's still pretty good. The remote mine and the ice wall are mostly what deal a lot of damage to things. And we got this dragon guy again. Just kind of get off screen before he has a chance to do anything bad. Now this, I guess, could be an example of my distaste for things that inconsistently change your... I guess I call it inconsistently changing your movement, because it's not like the entire screen all the time your movement is moved. But at least with these, if you don't shoot the vents, then you won't have to deal with that at all. But it can be hard to avoid shooting all the vents, which makes this part of the stage really annoying. Especially around here where you have to make some tricky jumps around spikes. But just use the ice wall and jump over it. And then this one's also kind of annoying. Oh, come on. Wonderful. That worked wonders. This is amazing. There we go. All these weapons are coming in. Just gotta get rid of you. They make it so that those things make it so that you can't attack. And they also severely hinder your movement, which is annoying. But if you... In fact, they're probably one of the most annoying enemies in the game. I think they're called Cold Frost? There's something cold in their name, because Cold Man spawns them. But they also appear in this stage, which is really annoying. Now, Tengu Man suffers a bit more from Cloud Moon Syndrome, but he's still a pretty fun boss, as long as you know what you're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on critical attack. Oops. Ah. Wrong button. There we go. Just in case. Using the biggest setting on the Spudrill does the most damage, but it's also a lot harder to hit him with that. And I'm probably gonna die. And I've just run out of Spudrill. Wonderful. I'm gonna have to actually fight Tengu Man. Hopefully this won't be too bad. He can be really annoying as Mega Man, because at least with base you can shoot upwards. But Tengu Man, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to actually learn how to fight Tengu Man. I'll probably be quiet here because I'm gonna have to concentrate on what I'm doing. He hasn't used his tornado hold. He still has the tornado hold from Mega Man 8. Oh, there it is. There's the critical attack coming in handy. That dealt a lot of damage. I think it increases... It just makes everything you do deal like 3 or 4 more damage, which is really nice. It comes in handy a lot. And here we have another nice weapon. I like it's basically this game's melee weapon, so the slash claw or the flame sword, but it also has the little projectile that it shoots out after you use it. That was pretty fun, not too bad. Still possible to beat Tengu Man without his weakness, just can be kind of annoying. Anyway, I think that'll be all for today. This has been Metroid Nerd number 9001 playing Mega Man in Bass. Hopefully I'm convincing, but I don't know exactly. Either way, I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time.